to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, a statistics in sports podcast. I'm your host, Josh Tracy.
And I am Corwin and Josh.
And today, Corwin and I are going to be talking about some unbreakable records in the world of sports, as well as a hint of projected standings for baseball. Corwin, why don't you lead us off with one of the unbreakable records you had pulled up that you thought might be interesting?
So I'm just going in order of what I think is most unbreakable to least unbreakable from what I have. And at my number one spot, I have the most lopsided victory in football history, in which Georgia Tech beat Cumberland 222 to nothing in 1916.
Yeah.
There's no way this ever comes close to being beat.
Oh, God, no. God, no.
So just a little backstory. Georgia Tech scored on every single possession for both teams. They scored a touchdown on every single one of their own possessions and scored a touchdown on every one of the defensive possessions.
Fuck.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think you could even see that happening today in like an exhibition game, just because at some point shit would just wasn't the reason it was so fucking lopsided, in addition to the skill of the team, was because like the head coach had some kind of grudge.
Yeah, so the head coach was John Heisman, namesake of the Heisman Trophy. And Cumberland had beaten their baseball team 22 to nothing earlier that year, and he wanted revenge for that game.
Which I'd say he got in spades.
So,
yeah, because I think at some point, even with how the college football shit does its whole ranking tiers with, the most points scored getting you higher up, I think even once you hit 100, your coach would be like, all right, we can take our foot off the gas. Like, we did it, guys. We're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'd say this is a good choice for Unbreakable.
All right, hit me with yours. Let's do it.
I didn't really pick an order like you did. I just kind of pulled up different pages that had various records on it for the different sports that we watch. But I thought, if you're going to make me think of it, the most unbreakable record probably being Wayne Gretzky's career points. How many do you think are there?
Oh, it's in multiple thousands. Isn't it like 2,400? It's
2,857.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If you include the playoffs, it's 3,239.
Oh, God.
And to keep in mind, Wayne Gretzky did not go. I know he won 4 Stanley Cups, but in the length of his career, he didn't go to the playoffs a lot.
No,
I don't think he went once.
The talent he was.
Yeah, I don't think he went once with the Kings, at all. I think he made it one time with the Blues, and I forget if that Rangers team he was on made it or not. But, most of his playoff career was spent with the Oilers. So the fact he has 300 goddamn points is pretty fucking crazy. And,
he went to the playoffs, it looks like, every year with the Kings.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm wrong.
And he won it once with them, I believe.
Oh, I thought he didn't win at all. I thought he
cross-reference this with what he has on Hockey Reference. I don't know if they have something that's actually playoff wins and stuff.
Hold on.
Championship. Here we go. Nope. Only won 4 with Edmonton. 84, 85, 87, and 88.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But he did have career highs in the playoffs with the Kings.
Oh, so he was only on the Blues team for 1 year.
Yeah, which is funny because he only played in the Cup years. He played 16, 19, 18, 21. Right. Sorry, 19, 18, 21, and 19 games. He played 25 that year with the Kings without winning the Cup. I don't know. This is information that I'm sure nobody will actually care about that we find very interesting. I also want to say there's no way his plus minus gets touched either.
What is it?
520.
Oh, Jesus, no. Granted, that's a useless-ass stat, but still, that's really fucking crazy.
I hate that stat more than anything, but, like, how do you even get it to 520? I mean, I guess by having nearly 3,000 points doesn't hurt, but, you know.
All right, so who do you think is in second place for points?
Mario Lemieux.
Oh, no, not at all. Lemieux's number 8. It's Jaromir Jagr.
Fucking cancer. Damn. Yeah,
so
Jagr would have been my guess after that.
Jagr, how many points behind Gretzky do you think he is?
Jaromir Jagr, I want to say, is 800 points behind.
Ooh, you're really close. It's 930.
Ooh, damn.
But, like, think about how crazy that, like,
God,
a lot of players.
2,000 points.
I was going to say, so a lot of players who play in the NHL aren't even going to touch 1,000 points, and that's the distance, basically, between Jagr, who is effectively retired now, and Wayne Gretzky. Like, yeah, Gretzky's point totals, and, like, set aside his goal totals and his assist totals, but, like, his point total, I just don't see how it ever gets touched. So I guess that's my first one.
This honestly probably would have been my first overall one, but I kind of tried to leave, like, the football. Like, I have some ones that you wouldn't have come up with, so I tried to leave, like, the baseball ones and, like, the Gretzky one on, like, your side.
All right, give me your next one then.
All right, this one is close to my heart, but the most NCAA wrestling wins in a career. By Cale Sanderson, current head coach of the Penn State men's wrestling team. In 4 years, he won 159 matches. Guess how many losses he had?
159 wins?
Yep.
Oh, well, since you're bringing it up, I'm going to have to guess a low number. I'm going to say 8.
That would be 8 too many.
What? No.
He went all 4 years of his wrestling career at Iowa State undefeated, going 159-0, winning 4 national titles.
Damn.
The most successful wrestler in NCAA history, without question.
That's fucking lopsided. Jesus, okay.
He's insane. Like, there's wrestlers who will win, you know, their handful of matches. Like, they'll lose. Like, you can't go undefeated 4 straight years. Like, people can go undefeated in a season. Like, it happens. Penn State probably has 2 that'll go, like, 30-0 this year. I don't know how anyone could go 159-0 again.
I'm surprised it happened to begin with. So, yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
First wrestler on the Wheaties box. No big deal.
It's crazy that being on a Wheaties box is such a big... Like, I know it is a big deal. I'm not trying to minimize people who get on it, but it's crazy to think, like, man, making it on the Wheaties box is, like, a real, actual achievement for being an athlete.
That's, like, such a huge thing that really, in reality, shouldn't have any weight at all.
I think it's just because, like, a lot of sports, like track and swimming and wrestling, like, they don't get prime time, you know, show and programs and shit like, you know, NFL and MLB and NBA gets and all that. So I guess in some respects I get it, but at the same time, this shit is breakfast cereal. So maybe slow your roll. But yeah, I don't see. I mean, would you have the information available for what the next biggest or next longest streak is? Like, do you even know how to find that?
Yeah, I could look that up.
Just for reference, because I literally can't even picture what the next longest streak could be, because I'm so removed from this, and I'm just so eminently curious.
In high school, for team win streaks, it's 459, which that number's just too large for me to even comprehend.
I was going to say, I don't even know what that's like. Wow, I can't imagine that much success in my lifetime, because I don't have that.
Let's see. All right, what do you have up next, Josh?
Okay, so I'm gonna tie these together a little bit. Okay. So I was curious. I have the list of most career triples. Okay. That record is held by a man by the name of Sam Crawford. Okay, he is 309, and let's see, he was born in 1880 in Wahoo, Nebraska. And he played from 1899 to 1917, so he never made it out of the dead ball era. So I was curious, like, who else is on this list? And it's Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Tris Speaker, Paul Wainer. Like, these are like old dudes. So I'm scrolling down the list like right now, and I'm struggling to find a name who's modern. I mean, Stan Musial's relatively modern, but like even then, no.
Someone easily could have just come up with all of these. And
oh,
just,
for
like,
sure.
made up a fake list.
Oh, who do you think? I found an active player name. Who do you think it is? If you had it, I'd be so surprised if you got this.
Active triples leaders?
Yeah. Or if you'd like to rather just guess where he is on the list, you can do that.
I
don't know how you're going to get this.
37th on the list. And I want to say that it's Albert Pujols.
Okay, so he's 78th, tied for 78th, and it's Jose Reyes from the Mets.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking Jose. Jose, -1 wins above replacement last year. Reyes is the active leader in triples. Yeah, I'm shocked.
That.
I know.
Making me go to
dude. He's only 5 triples behind being tied with Babe Ruth.
We can't let that happen.
He has to be stopped. Dude, yeah, Jose fucking Reyes is the active career leader in triples in the MLB, tied for 78th on this list with Brett Butler, Joe DiMaggio, and Buck Freeman, which is just nonsense to me.
131 triples.
He led the league 4
years.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit?
Man, I remember when Jose Reyes used to be good.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It's been a long time.
So that got me curious about career leaders in doubles, okay? Which is held by Tris Speaker, who, if you had to pick like a bunch of like really old time hitters, like Tris Speaker's one of the most famous ones, in part because his name is stupid. His first name is Tris, stupid. And his last name is Speaker. He was born in 1888 in Hubbard, Texas, and he played forever. Boston and then Cleveland, and then one year with Washington and Philadelphia. He retired in 1928. His career started in 1907, and he leads this board with 792 doubles. The man behind him, I think, is a much more recognizable name to the casual fan. If you had to give me a guess, real quick,
for doubles,
he is retired. I will say that.
Adrian Beltre.
Ooh, no. Although Beltre is 11, so you're actually not far off in terms of ranking, but it's Pete Rose. 746 doubles, so about 50 less. The active leader on this list is Albert Pujols with 639, and then directly behind him is Adrian Beltre with 636. So Albert Pujols would need 153 more doubles to tie Tris Speaker, which is over a quarter of the doubles he's recorded in his entire career.
Every single hit he gets this year, he should try and squeeze out a double with.
And the thing is, if he did that, he'd still probably be a little bit shy, because when was the last time Pujols got 150 hits? You know?
You make good points, Josh. You make good points.
Yeah, I love Albert, but he's not... That's I have a hard time saying that's going to get touched. And there's some big fucking names on this list too. of like dudes who have recently retired that you would like. David Ortiz is number 12, and like Hank Aaron's below David Ortiz. Cal Ripken never got close. Barry Bonds never. Dude, Barry Bonds is lower on this list than Albert Pujols. That should tell you how hard this is to do. Like I don't see. Do you see either of these records of being 309 triples or 792 doubles ever being broken?
See, it's one of those things where it seems like it's never really been close to coming true. Like, it's never been close to happening in our lifetimes. But it, like, those numbers aren't so far out of the realm of possibility where I will say it could never happen. Like, I feel like if Mike Trout played for 25 years, he might be able to break it, and I think that's enough.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, now we're going to do that math.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let's see what Mike Trout's doing with his doubles since he's been in the league.
224 in 8 years.
Yeah, he's not getting close.
No.
So 224 divided by 8 means he's averaging 28 per season. So in order to break the record of doubles, which I said was 700.
Divide it by 7, just because that first year he only played, like, he had under 150 plate appearances.
All right, so 224 divided by 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 32 per year. So if he wanted to hit 792 divided by 32 per year, he had to play for 24.75 years. They had to play for 25 years.
I am a math genius.
Yeah, I just it's not gonna happen. No, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not. I'm sorry, Mike. It's tough because, like, you know, there was a point in time when people said Babe Ruth's 60 home runs wouldn't get broken, and then it got broken 25-ish years later by Roger Maris, and then everyone said Roger Maris's wouldn't get broken, and it got broken like 35-ish years later. Everyone said Ty Cobb's hit record couldn't be broken until it was broken by Pete Rose, although the circumstances around that were very particular. In that Pete Rose became player manager, so when he should have been pulled from games, he would leave himself in so he could keep getting hits because he wanted them. Can't blame him, but yeah, so it's tough. I have a hard time saying any all-time record will ever be broken, but triples, I think, fuck no. Doubles, I'll give some credence to, just because it's easier relative to triples, in that the career leader in doubles is more than 2.5 times the career leader in triples. So I guess.
I think what we're saying here is that it's plausible, but probably not probable.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
All right, so I'm going to jump over to my next one that is honestly not even possible, which
Let's
is
hear it.
Cy Young's win record of 511 career wins.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's never happening.
No.
No.
The only pitchers in the last 30 years to get even half of those 511 career wins are Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, Tom Glavine, Mike Messina, Glavine, whatever. Fucking Yankees. Mike Messina, Andy Pettitte,
play for the Braves.
and Jamie Moyer. Wow. Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you. Yeah, dude, that shit's not. Actually, though, speaking of Greg Maddux, you know what I just got reminded of the other day?
What?
Another record that I think he probably holds. I'm not going to look up because it's too stupid. I'm not going to.
I'm going to look it up.
Fewest pitches thrown in a complete game. How many do you think he threw?
32.
Oh, dude, come on.
63.
76.
Really?
Dude threw a complete game in 76 pitches. That's so fucking stupid, man.
I looked up the record.
What is it?
Charles Red Barrett, who pitched in, it looks like the 30s.
Ooh, okay.
37 to 49 was when he played. threw a complete game in 58 pitches.
No way!
The game lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. He faced 29 batters, surrendered 2 hits, walked no one, struck out no one, no defensive errors, in 58 pitches.
Yeah, that's the thing is that at some point you're going to get in such a low pitch count that strikeouts just aren't going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because you need the contact. Is it a list? Do you see where Maddox would have fallen?
It was not a list, but I can.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, that wins records never, especially since we're in an era of such so many relievers being employed during the game. I just don't see like pitcher win totals are going down already because you're going to get a pitcher who's had a I don't know, mediocre fourth, and you got 9 dudes in the bullpen. So it's like, fuck it, why not? Let's just get him out there and bullpen the rest of this game. So yeah, I just don't see that happening. Fuck, man. There's a reason that they named the award the Cy Young Award. You know?
Yeah, who would have thought?
Shocker.
Big time trophies get named after big time players.
Yeah, man. They do.
All right, give me your next one.
I'm going to pick just a random one. Just a total random one in the world of football. Let's go with passes intercepted. Let's just look up career. Let's see. Don't have it up yet. Who do you think is going to be the leader in passes intercepted? Actually, I think I have a good answer for this.
I'm going to go with Charles Woodson.
Oh, I was thinking quarterbacks. I think this is quarterback stats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say Brett Favre.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with, if you're doing Favre, I'm going to say like Terry Bradshaw.
Okay, so it is Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Bradshaw's number 22.
Yeah.
After Favre, who has 336. Oh, Jesus. It was George Blanda with 277. Then some guy named John Haddle, Hadl. Have you ever heard of that guy?
I haven't.
Neither have I. I'm going to pull up his page real quick.
Where's Peyton Manning on the list?
Give me one sec. John Haddle played 210 games at a completion record of 50.6. Completion percentage, I should say. He played for the Chargers from 62 to 72, and then the Rams, and then Green Bay, and then the Rams, and then Houston. And he had a very long career for being number 2 on this list. Peyton Manning is number 9 with 251, sandwiched in between Dan Marino, who had 252, and Y.A. Tittle, who had 248. The current career leader, who do you think?
The current career leader?
Yes, as an active, I should say, active career leader.
Joe Flacco.
It is Elijah, I forget his middle name, Manning. Elijah Manning, who has 239. And the second active player on this list is directly below him, number 15, Drew Brees, with 233.
Yeah, makes sense. I really just wanted to make fun of Joe Flacco. Same with the Terry Bradshaw.
Also, Elijah's middle name is Nelson. Elijah Nelson Manning. Yeah, that is disgusting. Really so do you see that record ever being broken by the one Favre set?
I could see it happening. It would take a lot of work, but I think it's plausible.
I guess. I have a hard time because I know we talked about it the other day about how quarterbacks are just throwing less interceptions today in general. So I guess it'd have to be a Favre-style career where you just play forever. Because his career was almost 20 years,
right.
which is half the reason his number was so big.
Yeah. All right, so I looked up the defensive interceptions leaders. I picked Charles Woodson. He's actually 5th on the list. Who do you got?
Okay. To pick a corner or pick a safety? Fuck.
It's a good mix on the list. I'm surprised.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Oh, you're going to control F this. I'm not even close.
Deion Sanders is tied with Ty Law for 24th on the list with 53. Just ahead of Champ Bailey.
Actually, Champ Bailey was going to be my other guess.
Yeah. Paul Krause has the record with 81.
That's a fuck ton.
Yep.
Jesus.
Followed
was he playing like the 60s or 70s or some shit?
64 to 79.
Wow, on the money, Josh.
Emlyn Tunnel, who played from 48 to 61. And then Rod Woodson, Dick Night Train Lane, Ed Reed, Ronnie Rott, Darren Sharper, Dick LeBeau.
Lonnie Rott sounds like a 1970s English punk band member. You know, he would have been there with Johnny Rotten. Well, who's the active leader?
Let's bring it back up.
If that's readily available.
It should be. So let's find 18. There is no active leader on this list, but I can look up that.
That's okay.
Interceptions, active leaders. Who would you guess?
Oh,
they have 38.
Richard Sherman?
He's actually tied for 4th with 32. Reggie Nelson has 38 interceptions. Yep.
Huh.
Followed by
Never
Akeem
would have
Talib,
guessed.
Brent Grimes, Richard Sherman, Tremon Williams, Mike Adams, Jonathan Joseph, and Dominique Rogers-Cromartie.
DRC.
And then Eric Weddle and Earl Thomas round out the top 10.
Who do you think has the most career pick sixes as a quarterback?
As a quarterback?
Yeah.
Brett Favre, probably.
Yeah, it's still Brett Favre. Second though is Dan Marino. So Brett Favre has 31, Dan Marino has 28. Then it's Drew Brees with 27, tied with Peyton Manning. Then Phillip Rivers jumps onto this list with 23. He was tied with Vinny Testaverde. And then Elisha Nelson Manning with 22, tied with Carson Palmer. Yeah, this list is actually full of active players. Like Blake Bortles is number 25 on this list, tied with Tom Brady. Yeah, it's really funny.
Christ.
All right. I'll go on to mine.
You're up. All right.
Why not? Fuck it.
All right. I'm gonna take the big one. If you
okay,
don't
then
mind.
I don't know what the big one is.
Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak.
Okay. All right.
Ripken played in 2,632 consecutive games. Were you just about to guess how many it was?
No, I was going to try to guess who was in second, and I think that he broke. It was Lou Gehrig's streak, right?
Probably.
I believe because I think the whole thing was that Gehrig's streak was like the unbreakable streak of its day, and then it got smashed by Ripken because the Orioles need something to root for.
Where would you even find this?
I would probably just Google list of most games played streak or some shit like that, MLB.
This is for pitchers. I don't want pitchers. Who do you think has the most games started?
Most games started?
Yeah, for pitchers.
I would guess Cy Young again.
Cy Young is number 1 with 815. Number 2 actually is very surprising for me. I would not.
Is it someone more modern?
Yeah.
Pedro?
No, Pedro's not on the list, I don't think.
That was just a guess.
Nolan Ryan with 773.
That makes so much fucking sense. I'm mad at myself for not thinking of that.
Yeah. Greg
I love though that like when I say Pedro, you know exactly who I'm talking about because if you're good enough in baseball, you can just have a mononym like that shit. And it's not even like it's an uncommon name. His name is Pedro. It's a very common name. Yeah.
Mike Trout will never get that. Too many Mikes.
Mike?
Yeah.
What about Fishy Boy?
if you said fishy boy, yeah, I think I'd probably understand that. I don't think you'd appreciate that, though.
Why not? What if I said greatest ball player from Jersey, or would you assume I'm talking about Todd Frazier?
You mean that kid from the Little League World Series who met his hero and then got to play against him?
That day. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that shit ever being broken. In part because it's such an enormous number, but also, like I said, with a different baseball stat from before, they're just trending away from letting players start every game in a season. I mean, like, it was a big talking point on Yankees broadcast this year about how if they're not letting Gleyber Torres, who was I think 19 at the start of the season or 20, play every game of the season, you know, when he's young and healthy and all that, then. Yeah, this is before he did end up having a DL stint last past season. But before that, they were saying if they're not going to let him play every day, if they're going to build off days into his schedule, then they're going to be building the off days into everyone's schedule. And at that point, it's pretty safe to say that Cal Ripken's record will never be broken, ever, 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 ever.
Yeah, I think this is one of those where the game has changed too much for this to still be a record that can be broken.
I think you're right. All right, let me pick another random one here. Who do you think scored the most power play goals in the NHL?
Power play goals. I'm going to go with Jaromir Jagr.
No, it's some random-ass motherfucker named Dave Andreychuk with 274.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
sure.
He's a guy. But at the same time, though, 274 sounds exceedingly manageable, right?
Yeah. That's really that seems like could be achievable.
Yeah, let's see who's number 2 on this list. Give me 1 sec. I'm pulling it up now. Loading. Okay, so yeah, Dave Andreychuk, who played from 82 to 2006. Wow, that's a career. Holy shit. 24 years in the NHL.
Not too
Goddamn.
Heavy.
Oh, active leader, who do you think?
Active leader.
Yep.
And this is power play goals.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Alex Ovechkin.
Yes.
Boom.
He's number 6. So the record I said was 274. Ovechkin has 239. So he's only 35 away from tying the record.
That's, honestly, I would say at most 3 seasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's super doable. Wow, yeah. That's super doable. And he'd be passing names. The 5 ahead of him are Phil Esposito, Luc Robitaille, Teemu Selanne, Brett Hull, and then Dave Andreychuk. Huh?
Teemu Selanne?
Selanne. Yeah, I pronounced a lot of things wrong.
You're talking to the king over here, Josh.
Yeah, no, we're both not good at this. Yeah, no, that's shocking. The next, they have Jaromir Jagr listed as an active player, despite the fact that he's not on a team this season, and he's probably he's all but formally announced his retirement. The next active leader on this list is Patrick Marleau, who's been playing for 22 years, and he only has 168. So I guess this must be a lot harder. Yeah, I guess this must be a lot harder than I had thought when I saw that number, because like. Who do you think has more, Ilya Kovalchuk or Sidney Crosby?
Ooh, wow. I'm going to say just because I know the difference between their two play styles, I'm going to say Kovalchuk.
Yeah, Kovalchuk shockingly has 10 more power play goals than Sidney Crosby. Actually, Joe Thornton has more power play goals than Sidney Crosby.
What?
Yeah, Joe Thornton has 140. Sidney Crosby's 131.
Can you look up power play assists all-time leaders? Because I feel like Joe Thornton would lead the active players on that.
I absolutely can. I have it right here. 1 second. Power play goals. Where are you? Power play assists. Or is that not kept track of? Assists, points, goals created, penalties and minutes, power play goals. Really, no power play assists? That's fucking whack. How is power play assists not one of the ones kept track of? Yeah, I guess they don't have it. Wow, that's shocking. At least on this thing that I'm on right now. But yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't feel like Googling because I have 10 million tabs open. But yeah, so that's... I'm rather surprised. Surprised was like the wrong word because Ovechkin's known for his prowess on the power play, but at the same time, I guess I'm surprised by everything. I'm surprised that the number was, I guess you could say, only 274 because I feel like that's where a lot of damage would be done. I feel like you would have seen a lot more names on here. Like, where do you think Wayne Gretzky is on this list? Give me like a number.
For goals?
Oh no, like where he ranks, his number of rank.
I'm gonna say 8.
He's 17th.
Huh.
Which, on the one hand, makes his goal record way more impressive because not a lot of it's from power play goals. At the same time, you would have thought that he would be on the top of this list because it's Wayne fucking Gretzky, the career leader in goals by a fucking mile, and he's 17th on the list of power play goals. So I guess it must just be such a different skill or just how much time you were given on the power play each time your team went on it. But fuck, man, go with Ovechkin, man. He's crushing it.
I have active power play assists for this season, but that's not what I want.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give me your next one.
All right, so mine is consecutive wins. Here we go. Consecutive wins in college football. Where you got it?
Oh, you want me to guess the record?
Yeah, why not?
117.
Okay, moving on to a new record. That's not going to sound so shitty now.
What is it? What is it for real?
47 consecutive wins.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
But that was 4 straight seasons of undefeated play.
Damn, what team was it?
Oklahoma, from 1953 to 1957.
Damn.
No one has had more than 34 since then.
So if you had to say whether that was breakable or not.
So the caveat here for me is that it's a Power 5 team. Like I'm sure there's going to be like Boise State or somebody who doesn't play any major teams, or like an FCS team that does whatever they do in FCS. But for like major college football, I don't think anyone's going to get 47 consecutive wins again.
No, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama, the highest they ever got was 26. And
damn,
they're the greatest football dynasty in history. Yeah. I don't think I kind of threw out I'm going to go in order of most to least Unbreakable, but
would have been too much to keep track of anyway.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
All right, let's do one more each, and then we'll move on. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, then I'm going to go back to baseball as it is my first and only love. Grand slams. Who do you think has the most?
I have no idea.
You ready?
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez. How many do you think it is,
why
though?
would I not think? I don't even know. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Give me like what you
60.
think it would be. Oh,
no,
God,
that's way too high.
25.
That's way too high. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is a weird list. This is a really weird list. So number 2 is Lou Gehrig with 23.
Okay.
Number 3 is Manny Ramirez with 21. Then number
Okay.
4 is Eddie Murray with 19. And then number 5 is a tie between Willie McCovey and Robin Ventura, of all fucking people.
What?
Yeah, I know, with 18. And then number 7 is a tie between Jimmy Fox, Carlos Lee, and Ted Williams with 17.
What?
And then number eighth is a tie between Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and Dave Kingman with 16. Like, this is a really weird list.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
So, what do you think about the breakability of A-Rod's 25?
I think it's possible. I don't know if it's really plausible.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. The thing that makes Grand Slams weird and why this list is probably pretty strange is because Grand Slams rely upon the team around you also being good. And that's what's going to make it tough.
Chance.
Like, yeah, so like these are all dudes who were known to some extent to hit a good amount of home runs, and they were also on teams that were, really fucking good for at least a good stretch. I mean, the Yankees teams that A-Rod was on were awesome. The Yankees teams that Lou Gehrig was on was awesome. The Red Sox teams that Manny Ramirez was on was great. The Orioles teams that Eddie Murray was on. Like, you go down this list, like, these aren't just really great baseball players. These are really great baseball players who were also on really great teams for a good chunk of their career, which is what makes it interesting. Because on the one hand, 25 special instance home runs doesn't sound like a fuck ton, especially when A-Rod is in like the top 10 in home runs with 696 home runs. Only 25 of those had 3 dudes on base. It seems so improbable, like when you put it like that.
Yeah.
Like Babe Ruth, 714, only 16 of them had 3 guys on base. Like, it's weird as fuck. So I could definitely see it being broken because that's not a big number. But at the same time, history has shown us that it is also, I guess, much like power play goals, harder than you think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I feel like it's just like the big thing that's keeping it from being like the only thing keeping it from being like a much larger number is like how many times a game, like on average, are the bases loaded? Like point.
Oh, definitely point.
Terrible. Yeah, like
I'll say 0.4. I don't know. Less
like,
than
honestly,
a half.
Like, it doesn't even matter what the number is. It's like just that number is so low. There's so many chances and probabilities playing against you any given game.
No, you're right, because then you have to add, all right, how many times are the bases loaded per game with this one specific dude coming up, and then multiply that by like his probability of hitting a home run, and I think what we're both getting at here is that it has a lot of multipliers. It's a very specific set of things that has to happen, and every additional event you add to a probability increases it by a multiplication, not by an addition. And so, it's hard. What is your final one?
So I'm torn. I want to do a basketball one just because we never talk about basketball.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'm torn between 2, so I'm going to mention both. So Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points in a single game versus UCLA's 7 consecutive NCAA titles and an 88-game win streak.
Oh, Jesus. I think the more likely one to break in my eyes is Wilt Chamberlain's.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've seen, like, don't get me wrong, 100 points, like, the closest has been 84 by Kobe Bryant back in the day. I just think that there's so many high-octane players in the NBA now. At some point, I think enough stars will align where someone can have the chance to break 100 points.
Yeah, especially because teams are letting their players shoot threes more, and the bad teams are getting worse. So, yeah, I'm with you.
7 consecutive NCAA titles in, the March Madness tournament. No way. Like, that's insane. Like, I love March Madness. I hate watching basketball, but March Madness, what the fuck are you doing?
I picked a fuzzy off my shirt. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I mean, I said what I gotta say.
Yeah, So Corwin and I decided to do this just because we are in such a lull with sports right now. Like hockey's, I mean, it's a sport that's happening, so it's got topics to talk about, but nothing that we really thought was worthy of like a current events thing. Baseball hasn't done anything aside from these standings that got released that we're going to give a comment to, or these projected standings, and football's over with like nothing having happened. So we thought it might be fun just to mix it up and add in just a lighthearted stuff we find cool episode. So there's so many more of these records. Like I don't know about you, but I had like a good 6 tabs open full of just different records to look at. Like
yeah, I had
so
3
many.
open.
So we like this could easily be like a 2-hour jerk off fest about how much we love sports, but
Not wrong.
yeah, something fun to do during the quiet period. So do you want to move on to the Bakota rankings?
I think we should. Let's do it.
Okay. Mine's I'm assuming it's uniform, so I have the AL East on top.
Let's just double check. Bringing up baseball. Yep, AL East.
All right, so it's got the Yankees winning the division with 95 wins, 67 losses. I'll just do wins because you can just extrapolate the losses. Boston Red Sox with 89 wins, Tampa Bay Rays with 86, then Toronto Blue Jays with 76, and the Baltimore Orioles with 59. Give me an over-under on these.
I think, like, whether or not I think they're going to hit the over.
Whether or not you think it'll be over, like Yankees getting 95, or under 95.
Okay, got it.
Like, treat this as the mark.
I think the Yankees are going to hit the over. I'm going to stand by my earlier prediction and say the Red Sox hit the under.
Really? Under 89?
Yeah.
That's bold.
That is bold,
Okay.
but that's my bold prediction of the year.
Sure.
I think the Rays hit the under. Jays.
I feel like the Rays is just so accurate.
Yeah,
okay.
It's hard. I think the Tampa Bay Rays are right around like 84, 85, 86, 87, kind of like that range. But I think it's more likely them hitting the under. I do think the Blue Jays are going to hit the over just because Vlad Guerrero and Bo Bichette are going to hit 1,000 home runs this season. And I absolutely believe the Baltimore Orioles will hit under 59 wins.
Yeah, I'm going to go over with the Sox. I'm going to go over with the Yanks. The Rays are just so fucking accurate at 86. I'll say over.
Say push? You could push it and just say okay. Exactly 86.
I'll say push. I'll say that's very fair. I think the Blue Jays will actually be under that. I think that they're probably going to sell at the deadline again, and that's going to make their second half worse, if I had to guess. Although, if they're in a good spot, I guess they could buy, but not in the AL. I don't know. I'm going to say under. I'm going to say under.
If this was a confidence index, I would not be confident in the Jays hitting the over.
No.
Just pure hoping Vlad Guerrero hits like 60 home runs this year. And he's just drag him by his balls to 77 wins.
I think, and I agree that the Baltimore Orioles, I think 59 is super generous. I don't think that's 16 more wins than they had last season, right? Some shit like that.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
That's so many. That's so many. They did not get 16 wins better or whatever the number was. They're really fucking bad.
I would argue they got significantly worse.
It's tough because of how bad they were, but yeah, they definitely didn't get better. AL Central, we got the Indians at 97, then the Twins at 81, the Royals at 72, the White Sox at 71, and the Tigers at 67. Give me some over-unders here, Corwin.
As much as I hate to say it, I think the Indians are under 97 wins. I just don't think they're the same team that they were last year. I think they're going to struggle with their bullpen. I know that they're playing in the AL Central, which is going to guarantee them a lot of wins, but I don't think they quite hit 97. The Twins, I think they can hit the over just barely with 81. The Royals, I'll take the under for the Royals. I'm going to take the over for the White Sox at 71. And I am going to take the under for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on every single one of those. I'm really surprised that they gave the Royals games over the Sox to begin with, honestly.
Right.
With how bad the Royals were last year and how I don't expect them to be good this year. Also, the Royals just signed Champ Bailey, and that makes me so excited. Or not Champ Bailey, Homer Bailey. Jesus. They signed Champ Bailey. He's now going to be playing outfield. No, they signed Homer Bailey. I say the Indians are going to be under 97. I say the Twins will probably be over it, although over 81, although I'm not sure by how much. I have no confidence in that. The Royals, I think, are going to be bad. I'll be surprised if they get out of the 50-win mark. I'll be surprised if they hit 60. The White Sox, I see this as being close, but I'll say over just because I expect the Royals to be worse, and maybe they'll pick up some wins from that. And I'd actually probably push on the Tigers. Just because 67 is pretty low, and I have a hard time saying under for anybody aside from the Orioles because they really fucking suck. But I'll push the Tigers maybe just to be different. But yeah, I'm with you. I feel like the AL Central is pretty easy to expect, at least at the outset right now.
Exactly.
All right, so AL West. They got the Astros at 98. They got the Angels at 80. The A's at 79, the Mariners at 74, and the Rangers at 70. What do you feel?
I'm going to take the over for the Astros. I think they break 100 wins this year. I'm going to take the over for the Angels. I'm also going to take the over for the Athletics, and then I think they hit 80 wins this year, and I'm going to take the under for Seattle and the Rangers at 74 and 70.
Yeah, I think the Astros are a pretty safe high over there just because they're such a good team, and the bottom teams in their division, like the Mariners, just got so much worse, and I don't think the Rangers got any better. So I think it's pretty safe to take the over for the Astros, although it seems ridiculous when they're projected at 98 wins. I'll actually take the under for the Angels just because they never have nice things, and that includes playoff runs, so fuck them. I'll take the over for the A's because I believe in Bob Melvin and Billy Beane, and then the under for the Mariners and the Rangers. Yeah, I mean, the Rangers could hit 70 wins. I think they're more like a 64-win team, just in my mind, with no reason to back that number up. I think the Mariners are in about the same spot since they got worse, although I'm really rooting for Justice Sheffield this year on the Mariners because that'd be fun to see him do well.
Yeah.
Former Yankees prospect. All right, National League?
Let's do it. You got the East first?
Yes. So we got the Nationals at 89, we got the Mets at 88, the Phillies at 86, the Braves at 85, and the Marlins at 67. What do you think about this very, very close division for the first four teams?
All right. I think the Nationals are going to go under 89 wins. I think the Mets are going to be under 88 wins. I'm going to pound the over for the Phillies winning more than 86. I actually think 85 wins for the Braves is a push. I like that number. And the Miami Marlins are going to win under 67 games.
Yeah, this feels like you could go literally any of the three directions on these first four teams. You could say over on all of them. You could say under on all of them. You could push all of them because of how dependent they are, because all of these teams got ostensibly better in the offseason. Even the Nationals. Yeah. Despite the fact that they might not re-sign Bryce Harper just because they pulled up Juan Soto last year, who looks like he could be just as good. So
I would say Juan Soto looks like he could be better.
Yeah, well, we will see. Bryce Harper did win an MVP award. I'll say under for the Nats. I'll say under for the Mets, but not by a lot. I will push on the Phillies, and I'll say over on the Braves, and then finally I'll say under on the Marlins. Yeah, this is pretty even, though. I'm not really feeling great about.
Yeah,
the one I feel the best about is under on the Marlins. Like, I really don't feel good about any of these.
This is just such a hard division to pick.
This is the opposite of the AL Central for us right now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so speaking of Centrals, let's jump over to the NL Central.
Which
they
is
have the Brewers.
Even more even.
Oh, wow, you're right. I didn't even know this. All right. Brewers at 88, Cardinals at 86, Cubs at 81, Reds at 81, Pirates at 81. Dude, what do you got?
I mean, 3 of these teams are projected to be exactly 500. I'm going to say under for Milwaukee, under for the Cardinals, over for the Cubs. I'm going to say push for the Reds, and I'm going to pound the under for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates will not be winning 81 games this year. I love them, but they are never going to sniff 81 wins.
Yeah, that's what's so weird is those last 2 teams, the Reds and the Pirates. I'll take a gentle under on the Reds because I don't think they're going to break even this year. I think that the owners are very much so testing it out to see if there's a possibility of them giving out extensions and trying harder for like next season. But I don't see them taking the getting even this season.
I could definitely see them being a surprising team this year, though.
I could see them in the 70s.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I could see him. I see him at mid-70s personally. So I'm going to take the under on the Reds, though. I'm going to take the under on the Pirates. I'm going to take way the over on the Cubs. I don't know why the Cubs are getting slammed so hard here. Like, they're my favorite to win the division this year.
Same.
I'm really surprised. So I'm going to take the over on the Cubs, and then I'll push the Brewers and the Cardinals. I think both of those are very fair for the Brewers and the Cardinals.
Fair enough.
Because I could see those 3 teams finishing with, in some order, 90 and then 86 and 88 wins. Like, in whatever order. Those 3 teams all really fighting for it at the end.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that.
So should we jump to the West?
Let's do it. Let's finish this up.
All right.
Boom, boom,
So we got
boom,
the...
boom, boom.
We got the Dodgers with 94 wins. We got the Rockies with 86. The D-backs with 82. Fuck that. The Padres with 75 and the Giants with 73. How you feeling?
I want to say over 94 for the Dodgers, but I'm going to push. I think 94 is actually really accurate for them for all of my extensive knowledge on the matter. I'm going to say over for the Rockies. I'm going to just punch the under on the Diamondbacks. I don't know if they get to 70 wins, let alone 80. I'm going to push the Padres, and I'm going to say under for the Giants.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you on basically all of these. I'll take a gentle over on the Dodgers just because I'm expecting some of these teams to be much worse than they're projected to be.
I'm just also expecting the Dodgers to be so hurt this year, like always.
I mean, no, you're right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm taking a very gentle over, but
Right.
I will take the over. The Rockies, I think, are pretty fair, so I'll push them. They couldn't prove that they had much in the way of hitting last year and got very much so carried by their pitching. Like, if they lose
Somehow.
one pitcher, 2 pitchers, yeah, right, then they're in a lot of trouble. So they did like nothing to improve their batting this offseason. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing this offseason. So 86 seems fair. I'll push that way under on the Diamondbacks. Same with you, pushing the Padres and under on the Giants. Yeah, 80. If the Diamondbacks finish with an over 500 record, I think the entire state of Arizona will just collectively jerk off together. Like, I don't get how they're projected to be over 500, but like the Cubs are projected to be. They're right now. The Diamondbacks finishing with a better record than the Cubs. Like, I don't get that.
That's insane.
I get that they have
truly insane.
I get that they must have a model that they do this with. Like, this is all very based on numbers, and I'm sure there's a reason, but like, fuck, man. Like, if that happens, man, I'll eat a sock, but not for real because I'm a huge puss. So,
do you think like the 2 guys who like are in charge of publishing this like ran the numbers through the computer, saw that 82 wins for the Diamondbacks, and just like, dude, can we publish this?
Oh, they definitely.
Do we have to run this? Like, do we have to fudge the numbers to make this a legitimate site? Like, there's no way they could win 82 wins, 82 games.
And that's why I'm saying it's got to be numbers, because I'm willing to bet you if you ask dudes at Baseball Perspectives who, like, run the Pacoda standings, they'd probably be like, man, like, if you asked me personally, I don't think the Diamondbacks are getting at 82, but, like, that's what our projections put out, and we're just trying to be honest. So yeah, fuck. Just for fun. So basically, with these standings, the 5 playoff teams from the American League would be the Yankees as the 1 seed. Sorry, no, the Astros as the 1 seed, the Cleveland Indians as the 2 seed, and the Yankees as the 3 seed. Those would be your division winners, with the wild card teams being the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. What do you think about that playoff picture? That's about what we predicted, isn't it, in our previous episode?
I mean, outside of like the seeding, I agree with all of that except for the Rays making the playoffs. I have a hard time picturing that happening. But other than that, I mean, it's not like these are in danger of being huge upsets in any one of these divisions.
Yeah, same. I think this it's very not outrageous. I could see you with the Rays. Like, I could see you arguing for the Angels or the A's, and maybe a surprise team from the Central. Maybe. But
like the White Sox would have to have absolutely all of their prospects hit.
And the Twins free agent signings this season would have to all pan out. Exactly. But yeah, I think that's fair. They have the 5 National League playoff teams being in the 1 seed, the Dodgers, the 2 seed, the Nationals, 3 would be the Brewers, with your wild card teams being the New York Mets, and then a game 163 between the Cardinals and the Rockies.
And the Phillies.
Oh fuck, and the Phillies, yeah. So let's say the first 4. What do you think about the first 4 being the Dodgers, Nats, and Brewers, and and Mets, Nats, Dodgers, Brewers, Nats, and Mets.
I agree with the Dodgers. That's about it. I mean, I could see the Brewers. I could see the Brewers, the Nats, and the Mets all making it as wild card teams. I don't see them winning the division.
I think you're right. I think the division is just a little bit too muddy right now.
Yeah, like these are just. I'm dreading having to make these picks in like a month or two.
And I'm sorry if you tell me today that the Cubs wouldn't be in the playoff picture come August, I would not believe you. Like,
yeah,
dude, I'm so glad I root for an American League team. This National League looks like bullshit right now. Holy fuck.
You know what? I'm glad I root for the Pirates just because of all the shit that could possibly go down in the National League. I know for a fact the Pirates will not be winning it.
At least you have consistency.
Exactly. Like I have that rock that I can just cling to and know that rock's not going anywhere.
That Roberto Clemente shaped rock.
Poor guy. Wonder what he's up to.
He's decomposing. All right, so the last thing I thought we could just touch on for like a hot second is the AAF, the American Association of Football. Is that what it stands for? Right?
The Association of American Football.
Okay, I had the A's backwards. My bad.
I'm sorry, Alliance of American Football. My mistake.
Oh, wow, they picked a fancier word.
You watched any games yesterday?
I didn't, because I didn't realize it was happening. But I was doing a little bit of reading about it this morning, and this is why I wanted to bring it up, because there was 2 things I didn't realize about non-NFL football.
Okay.
One of them is the 2-point conversion. It was not an NFL rule. It was a USFL rule that the NFL adopted when it's kind of stomped the USFL out. It had adopted that part of their gameplay because it was so popular in that league, which I thought was interesting. And another point is that the overhead, like the zip line, the sky cam in football stadiums that has like the zip line that goes across, also not originally from the NFL. That was from the XFL that the NFL also adopted. And one of the new things that's now happening in the AAF is that they have a sky judge. So there's a ref that can overturn calls that happen on the field that basically exists in I forget if it said it was an outside the building video service or just in the upper box and has a camera down to the field, but they have now a live judge not on the field who can overturn ref calls. And so what they were saying was, you have these instances where outside or like non-NFL football leagues have different takes on the rules, and the NFL can see if it's popular or not and adopt it. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring up to see if you had any thoughts on, well, the AAF as a whole, but also these small points I brought up now?
I knew, I probably couldn't have named all three of those to you right off the bat, except for the new AAF rule, just because it's been in the news so much. I love the Sky Judge. I really hope it works out for them. I mean, granted, there's only been 2 games, so it's not really much that you can prove in that time. But I really hope it works out and is something that the NFL adopts, just because of all the, pardon my French, the bullshit that goes on with NFL officiating. I hope this gets off the ground. I hope this sticks around. I don't ever think it's going to threaten the NFL, but having football in the spring is really nice. And honestly, just watching the highlights as I'm talking, it doesn't look like a bad product. It's an entertaining game.
No, it's remember when I was telling you about how Bill James got in shit because he said baseball isn't about the players, it's about having an even level of competition. Yeah. So you're watching for even levels of competition. I mean, yeah, it's the same concept with that. I think having a competitor, whether it be a genuine competitor or a very, very insignificant competitor to the NFL, is important, because right now the NFL doesn't have that, so it has no real impetus to change and no one else to look at to copy ideas from, which is a really important part of changing a business. Because if the NFL sees some of these ideas happen, maybe it might be more inclined to be like, oh, fuck, that actually is a good idea. Like they did with the Skycam and like they did with the 2-point conversion. So, go ahead.
So what I'm most excited about for this is because it's a spring league, I think it gives us just tremendous opportunity for players who maybe don't have the opportunity to play during the regular season in the NFL to go to one of these teams' training camps in the winter, play for them in the spring, and then have NFL teams be able to watch them play and open up doors for them for NFL spring training in the summer. And
yeah, it's basically what baseball winter leagues are.
Yeah,
I'm totally with you. I also think it'd be interesting to see the AAF, the NFL, and the XFL all running at the same time, because I think the XFL starts in 2021, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah. It's a couple of years still.
How fucking cool would it be to have 3 NFL or football leagues happening at the same time?
It would be wild.
That'd be so much fucking fun.
I genuinely have no idea how long the AAF season is. I know there's only 8 teams right now. So let's look that up real quick.
All of which are in the South, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Oh, it does. It's warm down there.
With, much lower or much closer margins for these teams. The championship
probably much lower
is
attendance
April
expectancies.
27th.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, so it's a short season. They only play
2.5 months, basically.
Yeah, no, they play 10 weeks. And then the playoff is just the top 2 teams or top 4 teams.
Okay.
It's only 2 games.
I mean, that's fair. There's only 8 teams.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I don't know.
They're going NHL style, where half of them are going to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Okay. My biggest concern with them is that Christian Hackenberg is a starting quarterback in this league, so that can't be great for ratings.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfair advantage for that team. They're just going to murder everybody.
Oh, exactly,
Yeah. It's like putting Tom Brady on a Pop Warner game. Jesus.
So, have you picked your team yet?
No, I'm probably not going to pick one for a while. I'm going to have to actually sit down and watch a game and make some decisions based on very petty things like uniform and name and colors.
Right.
You?
I'm going to root for the Memphis Express just because that's who Christian Hackenberg plays for, and I need a reason to root for that man again. I just need him in my life. They are projected to finish dead last in the league.
As a Christian Hackenberg team should.
Yep, which isn't surprising. So we'll see how unwatchable they actually are. But yeah, I'm not going to, really pick a team, if ever.
Are games on Saturdays then?
I think it's Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah, so there's 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday every week.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for it. Maybe we'll do an update when that championship rolls around. If we ever end up actually watching any of these games.
It looks like 8 o'clock Eastern and 4 o'clock Eastern are the most common times. There's some 2 o'clock games here and there.
All right. Any closing thoughts on anything we talked about today?
No. I'm all set.
All right, then let's get out of here. If you guys want to reach us on Twitter, you can find us at JuicingPod. It's at JuicingPod. If you guys want to reach us via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. If you guys want to find our website, you can do that at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. It's juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And y'all take care.